Danza, we're here to talk about the teepee and what the teepee represents and the importance of the teepee and how we use the teepee and how we should conduct ourselves when we are in the teepee. The teepee is a gathering place, oftentimes a place to tell stories, a place of healing. It is also a place where we gather, and it's a sacred place with many, many teachings that the TP offers. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is the TP itself and the poles and what they represent. So we're going to talk about each of the poles and what they represent to us and the importance of this so that you may learn from the TP and what we have to tell you. One pole represents obedience.
Nahitamuin.
Nahitamuin. And another pole represents respect.
Kistitamuin.
Another pole in the TP is humility.
Tapuitamuin.
Another pole represents happiness.
Miditamuin.
Another pole in the TP represents love.
Sakituin.
Another pole in the TP represents faith.
Tapuitamuin.
One of the other poles represents kinship
Ototimi
and cleanliness
Kanakatiosuin.
and thankfulness
Nanaskomuin.
and to share
Pakuinamakiwin.
and strength.
Soki kapawiin.
One of the poles represents hope.
Pasko simuin.
One of the other poles represents ultimate protection.
Kanawititamuin. Suin.
One of the other poles represents good child rearing.
Opa, hopiki asuin.
And then one of the flaps in the TP represent.
Kiskoto kiwin.
And then in our language, the TP is mikiwap. We're talking about mikiwap. And then when we look at the TP, we're also thinking about the very tall pole in the TP, and this very tall pole on a TP represents honor.
Kistita kusiwin.
And then you will see in the TP flaps that go like this. The top of the flaps, they represent.
Kistot kiwin.
And then the ties that tie the poles, they represent strength.
Soka wiwin.
And then what holds the canvas in the TP? There are 14 pins. These 14 pins are called.
Sitawi kanak.
And then at the bottom are the pins that tie the TP down to Mother Earth. These pins represent strength.
Sita nikawakanak.
And then the final thing is the foundation. The foundation of our TP. This is called.
Sitoska kiwin.
So when we put the TP together, as the poles are going into the TP, each pole, there's a prayer of offering of tobacco so that all of these virtues that we talked about, obedience, respect, humility, happiness, love, faith, kinship, cleanliness, thankfulness, sharing, strength, and hope, they represent Mother Earth, and that the TP itself is the dress of Mother Earth, and so that we need to treat this TP with
Mikiwap.
sacredness, the mikiwap, to be sacred, and that as mentioned before, it is a place where we of healing. It's a place for storytelling. It's a gathering place, and it needs to be treated with much respect. Thank you for listening to us today.
Thank you. Inanas komit no.
Kinanas ko mitnan.